Big old Nunnions. Big old Nunnions last night.
Yeah.
Shout out to our boys Slim and Eric Reed dropping a Nunnions on the broadcast.
I would say he looked like he's starting to get a second win.
Yeah.
Which
Apparently, Spo said that after the game last night. He said that the coaches in the gym have been saying shooting's been looking good.
he got his legs back. It happens, dude. It happens. Like for football, it happens between the second and third week of camp, right? Because you're going 2-a-days, or you used to go 2-a-days, and then you have a whole week of like 2-a-days. Then you have, when you start playing the preseason games, is when you start getting more time off, believe it or not.
Right.
And then you have 2-a-days for another week, and then your legs are they feel so heavy, and then you just kind of start gradually getting them back. So if they time it right, you're good. At the beginning of the season, then depending on where your bye week is, you get a chance to get a little bit more. But that's what it looks like. It looks like, he has a little more quickness. He has his legs. He has his legs, because a lot of them. You look at a lot of young guys. They were struggling with their shot. They had no legs.
Yeah, I mean, he was like the only guy it seemed like scoring was coming easy for last night. Everything that he was putting up there was going in with ease. Goran had a nice little run for him, but Kendrick Nunn was awesome yesterday. Good revenge game for the Heat. Back in the friendly confines of the American.
Wait.
What?
How many times have the Heat beat the Spurs in a row?
I don't know.
A bunch.
I don't know.
It can't be a revenge game.
No.
It cannot be a revenge game.
No.
Different circumstances.
I will say this.
Different circumstances, sir.
I did hear Mike Inglis talk about they had a conversation with Pop about
yes, they did.
Right.
You want to know who brought up that conversation?
Who?
This guy.
Before the game?
Before the game. I gave him the business. I gave Gregg Popovich the business last night. 2 wins in the American Airlines Arena.
Come on, man.
Yep. Well, here's what happened. Let me give you backstory.
Please give me a backstory.
Here's backstory.
Because
here's what goes down.
All right.
So I get a call yesterday from the guest line around 11:20 a.m. I'm like, well, what is this? So I know it's got like Zazzle wants me for something. I figure he wants to argue something Panthers. I don't know what the hell he wants. And so he gets me on his show. He's got that Zach Duarte on there with him, and he's like, Zazzle show. Ask Popovich tonight about Bam Adebayo. Is your guy? Go out there, ask him questions. I'm like, whoa. Let me get this straight. You want me to go ask Gregg Popovich about Bam Adebayo? Is your guy? Bam, is your guy? You pick him. You say, what's up? Go ask him questions. And this is, I know what he's doing. He's trying to question my man, but he just wants me to get Izzy Gutierrez. He wants me to get hosed down on the sidelines like he does. Pew, pew, pew. He wants me to get assassinated.
Right.
He wants me to get verbally assassinated by Gregg Popovich. And I'm like, fine, man. If nobody asks, I figured I'm going to go to this press conference. Someone's going to ask him about Bam. I don't have to ask. There's a lot of good reporters there. I'm sure. I'll throw in my questions every now and then, but normally I like asking the nonsense.
Did it go, Gregg Popovich?
Do you want to know how it went? Do you want to know how it went?
Recorded it?
I got it.
Yeah.
You got it. You got
the
it.
question?
Oh, I got a question.
Oh, come on.
And I got to tell you, I was like,
you did some of your best work?
Well, I didn't even feel like it was that great a question. I think what everybody's shocked by is how long Gregg Popovich engaged me on this, because I'm like, all right, because I'm looking around, I'm like, all right, somebody's asking about Patty Mills, all right. And then somebody asked him about the Heat organization. I'm like, all right, are you going to do that? No, I'm like, no one's really going to ask him about Bam Adebayo. It's like the only interesting thing about this game tonight.
Well, because you're already in payback mode.
Yeah.
You're already in.
Look,
you're full Team Petty at this point for your boy.
I know, but I will say this: it did make there was news about it recently, so that helped with being able to ask about it, because Bam recently told Barry Jackson I think it was right before they played the Pacers, because Miles Turner made the team in front of him, and he was asked about the idea of well, what did Gregg tell you? And Bam said he said I wasn't ready. He said he wasn't ready. So that was my in.
Right.
That was my in. I was like, all right, no one's gonna ask about this. We cool, baby. All right, let's do it.
Coach Bam recently said that when he didn't make Team USA, you told him that he wasn't ready. What did you think that he had to improve upon, and what have you made of his season?
He's actually, from what he's a different player now than he was when we had all the tryouts. I think that in general, when I said, he wasn't quite ready, I think he didn't show what he could really do. And I think that was just maybe a product of, the guys that he was around. He was in a different environment. He probably deferred more than he needed to. He probably was a little unsure of himself, that kind of thing. And in that sense, if that same tryout was today, I think he'd look a lot differently at it. Because we talked about, being aggressive and doing things that you would normally do. But I just think he probably deferred and was maybe too polite and, too just maybe not ready for the occasion at that particular time. And, now that you see him during the season, I've shaken my head several times and saying, that's not the guy that we saw, during the tryout. And maybe that was my fault. Maybe I should have done it differently, so his skills could come out. But, that's the best I can offer you.
Come on.
You know what that
Come
is?
on, Leroy. I conquered the mountain.
By the way, I
cracked him.
I
cracked him,
you
Leroy.
didn't crack him. I heard that, or heard Mike Inglis talking about it.
Yeah.
And the first thing I thought was, because he played like he plays for the Heat, and he went there and tried to do that and not know that he's in a different environment and a different Bam might be required. And that's part of being young. Like a lot of guys on that team are a lot older than him and have been through a lot more in basketball and have been in different situations and know when to do different things or use different aspects of his game. And he's just young. So I could see that.
Come on, give it up. I'm a journalist.
What?
Come on, give it up. I'm a journalist.
I gotta tell you. If nobody else has the stones to ask him, but here's the funny part about it. Here's what kills me. I don't know how it works in, the question asking world.
Neither do I.
Media.
I don't,
but here's the key. I love the way, so after you ask the question,
yeah,
then everybody in that room leaves and says, yeah, we asked Gregg about.
I know.
Right. And so everybody's, because Mike Inglis said we had a long talk with Gregg Popovich. I'm saying, really?
Yeah.
Really?
I know. I don't know those rules
So how does
either.
that work?
I don't know.
I said, because everybody's so caught up.
I'll tell you who I feel bad for all the time is Ira Winderman, because there'll be times where, I was sitting there yesterday and I was like, well, sorry, Robbie, hit the headlines thing. I know I've gone way over.
This is WAXYAM South Miami and WSFS-FM HD2 Miramar, a radio.com sports station.
I want your impressions of the South Florida crowd tonight. It's been a while since you guys have been here.
Hey, you would have really been a boss if you would have said, Pop, the damage is done, my friend.
The damage is done, my friend.
If you would say,
Yeah, so to get to your point, though, I never know how that stuff – I don't know that stuff either. I don't get, the reporter etiquette and all that stuff. And I do feel bad a lot of times because Ira will go in there and he's literally he's almost like Kendrick Nunn. He'll be carrying a press conference basically with the player, just doing it by himself. And by the time and he knows all the questions to ask, he's been doing so long, you're kind of just like, all right, I don't know what else do I ask Derrick Jones Jr.? And especially in the situation where yesterday, everybody kind of just herds in these locker rooms from guy to guy. And so I'm watching yesterday, and I was thrilled because I walk in this locker room, who's already got his pants on, but Jimmy Butler. I was like, let's go. All right. We don't have to wait a half hour for Jim tonight.
right.
And I go in there, and everybody's like, oh, let's go talk to Derrick Jones Jr. I was like, really? And I love Derrick Jones Jr., don't get me wrong, but Jimmy Butler's a much better quote. I like talking to Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
And so Jimmy Butler, he goes and he looks, he sees, oh, everyone's talking to Derrick Jones Jr. I'm out. This is not a loss. It's not like no one's going to criticize Jimmy Butler for not talking. He's just like, okay, cool. who else is here? He's like, oh, Kendrick Nunn's got to talk. He's like, what am I going to wait for 4 guys? Nah, I'm out.
Right.
So, I don't know how that stuff works either, man. But I'm with you. Like, you go and ask these questions, and they're like, yeah, all right, Pop said this. And I'm just like, all right, well.
Right.
Glad we could all be of service to each other. I guess that's how it works. I don't know. I don't know the rules.
Which is even more amazing when you get that question, right? Like, you're like, really? Dude, we just watched the whole game and that's the best you could come up with?
Yeah.
I used to get on reporters about that all the time. Like, look, I said, I just played in a 3.5, 4 hour game, right? You've had 3 hours or 45 minutes to think about a question to ask, and that's what you asked me?
Yeah.
And they go, well. I'm like, no, man. I said, you went to college for this? I would just go because guess what? You know, one of the things that I hated about it is that they expect you to give, you know, the right quote 3 minutes after the game.
100%.
And I'm like, why shouldn't I demand that you ask the right question?
Well, apparently I wasn't there for Pop's post game, but apparently there were like 2 reporters standing outside the locker room. He walks out. They don't ask him any questions. He walks right back in. He's like, all right, what do we want me to do? Wait for everybody? I'm out of here.
Right.
All right. We'll get you caught up on, we'll do like a hodgepodge, a mishmash headlines. 50. That was kind of 50 minutes of heat right there just to kick off the show. So we'll do more of like a headlines 15 minutes of heat mashup coming up next segment. We're back after this.